Welcome to our video series on mind mapping. In this video, we'll discuss what mind mapping is and how it can be beneficial for you. In this set of videos, I'm going to introduce you to and talk you through mind mapping, what it is, and how you can start benefiting from it right away. First of all, what is mind mapping? Really, it's just a term used for mapping out ideas, you could say. It could be used for taking notes. It could be used for brainstorming. This is another version of taking notes, but it could be used for taking minutes of meetings, for example. But what are the advantages of mind mapping over the normal ways of taking notes or coming up with ideas? The benefits include the way mind mapping works is that it's said that it uses a lot more of your brain. It uses the logical and also the creative side of your brain to help you come up with more ideas. And because of that, it helps you retain more as well for using mind mapping to take notes, for example. And also, the way information is presented when creating a mind map, you tend to remember it more easily and longer. And really, the entire process is going to be more helpful in helping you come up with ideas because that's what you're using it for. First of all, it would probably make sense to give you some examples of mind maps. So here's one example from the site mindmapping.co.uk. And it's worth noting with mind mapping that there aren't issues related to rules. It can be a very flexible process. And I suggest, for example, that you use lots of colors when creating mind maps, or at least in the beginning when creating the first draft of a mind map, and you don't really censor yourself. Use lots of colors, and almost do as you like, because it helps the whole creative process, helps you get more involved in the process, which in turn helps you retain more if you're using it for taking notes, for example. But really, there are some broad rules when it comes to mind maps. In the center of your mind map is what the mind map is about. In this case, Dave's golf improvements. Then, coming up the mind map are the main points, the main subject areas, you could say. And everything's related. Everything's linked to something else in the mind map, as you can see. So as you can see, the main subject is Dave's golf improvement, and the main subjects coming up there are golf range, few holes on your own, practice drills, tuition. These are the main ideas coming off the central concept. Then off of each of these ideas, there are more notes and related topics. So, in a way, you could say it's a tree structure. The central structure, the central idea of your mind map, the central concept of your mind map is the trunk of the tree. Then each of the main areas or ideas are branches. Then, as you drill down into more and more detail, you get to the twigs and leaves of the tree, if that analogy holds. So this is just one example, and there are plenty of examples to be found if you search online, and you'll see that there can be a lot of differences between them. Again, there isn't a huge number of rules. As detailed, the main rules are that you put your central idea or central concept in the center of the mind map. The main idea or subjects come off that, and you can color code that however you wish in the first instance. You can tidy up your mind maps later, but as you create them, just create them in a very free-flowing way. You really don't try to make it perfect the first time. Then off of each of these main ideas or concepts, there are related ideas or notes, and so on. So how do you create mind maps? Well, you can, of course, just create them with pencil and paper. But what I'll be talking you through here is the software you can use. specifically the free software you can use for creating great-looking mind maps quickly. Also, if you create them on the computer, then of course it makes it easier to make changes to them, because then you don't have to redraw it all from scratch on a blank piece of paper. Also, as we go through this, I'll talk you through step-by-step examples of creating mind maps for different purposes. Okay, there are plenty of resources available online, plenty of software and services to help you create mind maps. For example, there's a free one here at bubble.us without an E at bubbl.us. And this is a free application for brainstorming, as they detail here. So you can try that out. Or there's the leading software in the mind mapping market called Mind Manager by MindJet. There's a free trial, but the software itself is a bit expensive. What I'll be talking through mostly is free mind mapping software called FreeMind. Just go to Google and search for FreeMind, and it should be the first result, freemind.sourceforge.net. And SourceForge.net is a collaborative site where lots of programmers work on software together to create free software. And there are thousands of pieces of software, well, tens of thousands, and maybe even hundreds of thousands of pieces of software on SourceForge.net that programmers are working on part-time and maybe even full-time, improving them incrementally. And FreeMind is one such project. So if we click through, and okay, here's the main page and the main address, FreeMind mapping software, and you can just click on download. You need to click through this link and here. Okay, it's important to know that this software is written in Java. What that means is that it should be able to run on almost any computer, but you need Java installed. Java is free, and you can just download it here, or as an alternative, you can just go to java.com, free Java download, download Java for your desktop computer now. So by installing that, and it's probably already on your computer because it's a very common piece of software, but installing Java allows you to run any software that was programmed in the Java programming language. The whole point of Java is it's a programming language that means you can create software once and it works on all computers, in theory at least. So whether you have a PC or a Mac or even another computer, in theory it should be able to support software written in Java. Okay, so here on the FreeMind page, there are some system requirements and so on. So if you have Java installed, you can choose a version here, Windows, Mac, Linux, or any operating system. The most common, of course, is going to be the Windows installer, and you can go for the Mac's version, Windows Installer Max, and you just click on that, download it, and install it, and it's quite a straightforward process. Okay, I've downloaded and installed it and opened it up, and here's how it looks in the first instance. It's just blank, so there's no mind map open. And okay, I've opened up a mind map here that comes with FreeMind, and it's actually documentation presented in mind mapping format. So the central concept is in the middle, FreeMind mapping software, that's the central concept. And then all the main points. It's really turned into a table of contents. And interestingly, you can see all these topics here. If you click here, for example, it expands into all the ideas or notes below it. So that's a quick introduction to what mind mapping is, the benefits of it, and how you can get started creating and working on your own mind maps completely for free using FreeMind.